You got to tell the whole history when you talk about the monument. When you talk about the monument, there's some history that the public don't want you to know. Those that support the monument really wants to recruit our children and teach them hatred, to teach them how to fight against each other. But we as parents and grandparents cannot allow that to happen. The monument does not stand for truth. It stands for false news. That's what it stands for. Because as we move forward into the 21st century, you will find out that there's white supremacist groups, Ku Klux Klan, and all the neo-Nazis, opportunity for them to recruit with the monument. So the monument has been hijacked all over America, used to divide this country. And we today have decided to take a position. And we're going to continue to take this position, and I'm going to continue to fight until that monument is taken down. Hate is small, but it could be powerful. If you look at the turnout today, you see more love than anything else. You see people organized for one mission, and that's that we all are created equal. The thing that's important to all of us is the fact that we all brothers and sisters, that we all stand for something. And we always say that if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. There's an old thing that Dr. Martin Luther King used to say to all of us. The fact is that to be silent is sinful. It's one of the number one sins that you can have. When you see travesty taking place with the monument, where they're attempting to redefine our children with bigotry and hatred, we must all stand like we are today. We have a Board of County Commission meeting tomorrow. There's an estimate between $10,000 to $12,000 to take this monument down. So what I'm going to do in the meeting tomorrow, I'm going to write a $500 check to a fund to take this monument down. So it shouldn't be no excuses that it's taxpayers' money. I'm going to challenge my colleagues tomorrow. I'm going to hold a $500 check up in the air, and I challenge any one of them to write that check. I guarantee you within 48 hours, we will come up with the $12,000 necessary to remove this monument. And you see right now it's covered up. That's just the first step. But we demanded for it to be taken down. Because we don't want our children to understand that we're not good people, that we didn't work hard for what we earned, that we didn't scuffle, that we didn't suffer, that we lost some things. We may have been down, we may have been on our knees, but we fought and got up. We fought the good fight. We fought the good fight with our white Christian brothers and sisters. We fought the good fight with our Latino brothers and sisters. The Methodists, Baptists, all of us stood for one thing together. And through all things, we are created equal. We're not going to allow a little small part of individuals who think they're important to hijack what a democracy is. And so today as we move forward, you see unity in this community, you see an understanding of loyalty, you see the love for our children, and so those are the things that we're going to keep pushing forward with.
Take the baby. Take the baby. It's going to be nice. It's going to be super peaceful.
We're going to get loud. We're going to get loud. We're going to get loud here today. Who loves America? Yeah. Woo! I got to say what I didn't say. Look at this young man over here who loves America.
My name's Michael from Sarasota, and I'm here to support veterans, all of the veterans. I'm here to support not removing the monuments because my question is, when will it stop? I mean, they're talking about removing everything from Jefferson to Washington to Christopher Columbus. I mean, we all need to get along. We all need to denounce racism. And I denounce the Klan. I denounce Nazis. I'm of Polish Jew descent, so I hate the Nazis. And I feel I'm angry when people call me a Nazi. I don't think we should tear down any statues of anybody. Martin Luther King. These are men that have died for this country. Okay, they weren't racist. Martin Luther King wasn't racist. Malcolm X wasn't racist. There is a small minority of people in this country that, yeah, they are far left, like President Trump said. Antifa, the Black Lives Matter, I feel are a pretty radical group. So they have no room here either, and they're just as much as perpetrators in violence in these last incidents as anybody else.
I'm here to support the effort to end racism right here locally. Right now it presents a danger to our community. We have a rather large white nationalist group here locally, a regional group, and they're using it as a rallying point for recruiting new people. And these people, these groups are generally dangerous for a community. They're hate groups. They say right out really ugly things about minorities.
I'd like to see a peaceful demonstration. You have a group here, I think it's the Manatee County Republican Party that's going to come out here today. They're going to, they've been stating that they want to hold a peaceful protest. They want to come out here and support that these statues stay in place. But we've seen in the past, we've seen Saturday in Boston, we've seen in Charlottesville. I agree with our President of the United States that there is hate and violence from many sides. And we need to acknowledge that hate and that violence from many sides. This isn't a one-sided issue. These monuments don't stand up for white supremacy. That monument doesn't say white supremacist. That monument doesn't have any, that monument doesn't dictate people's lives day in and day out. We, as an American free citizen, have the ability to manifest our own destiny. That monument is a testament to our history. It's where we persevered from our past. Like I said again, it forged who we are today.
My name is Willie Orr, born and raised here in Manatee County, just got off work, and I wanted to come down and ask that question. If Martin Luther King did not have a problem with this statue, why do they? Simple as that. They're statues for veterans of American wars. If Martin Luther King did not have a problem with this statue, then we shouldn't have a problem with this statue. Simple as that.
My name's Rail. I'm originally from Providence, Rhode Island, so I'm not used to this type of situation. It seems to be more frivolous and pointless than anything else. There's a lot of propaganda going on here. But okay, if the statue comes down or stays up, it makes a difference in whose lives. I don't understand why all these same people on both sides of the fence don't do all this marching and protesting towards the education and safety of our children, because that's what we're supposed to be doing, right? If this is where your focus is, your mind is already off balance.
I have no white guilt. You don't have to have white guilt.
I respect American history.
You're not here on behalf of white guilt.
It's a perseverance to who we are today. This forge who we are today.
This is built in 1924.
You're dividing us.
Jim Crow.
You are dividing us.
I'm dividing us.
Yes, you are.
So why are you in
You're
the face?
neo-progressive, Marxist,
progressive, such a bad
America.
thing, huh? What is progress?
You don't like the police? Do you like the police?
Why would I like the police?
Because you're
Why would I support the
neo-progressive.
police?
You're a domestic terrorist.
That's right.
That's what they call them. That's what they call them. You're a domestic terrorist.
You mess with me. You might well see you in right now.
Hey, you might in your face.
Hey,
because you're
ISIS sign up there.
you are. The only other organization tears down monuments is ISIS. The only other organization that tears down monuments of past history is ISIS.
Right.
You are the
Why did the
American
Confederacy
ISIS.
build this monument in the 20s?
What? Nobody been here. Nobody been in the 20s because we started having
the Jim Crow era. That's
why they put it up there. You thought that was
Why did you come here with a mask on?
They thought that was scale.
Because you wanted to
Why
hide.
are you
because
here?
you are
I
a
helped
coward.
organize this event. Why are you here?
I'm a
Yeah,
veteran.
you're a counter-protester. How's
We're an
that,
American
buddy?
citizen. We have the right to be here.
I'm not a
We have the
citizen.
right to free
I'm a
speech.
citizen.
Oh,
You're
I'm
right
not
to
born
be
in this
here.
county. I'm not from
Speak
here.
what
Who
you
are you
want
going to
to
tell
say.
me? When are you going to tell me that I'm not from here?
You're Antifa. You're a domestic terrorist.
I'm a domestic terrorist.
Yes, you are.
Talk all you want.
You're a coward that hides behind the mask.
I am right here in your face without a
Yeah,
mask on.
because
Even
the
with the
police
mask on,
officers
does
make
that
you
make
take
my
the mask
logic any
off.
different?
Because
Does that
that
make
man
my
right over
job
there,
any less?
Are you a
What's the matter with you?
communist? It does matter. I'm an American. Are you a communist?
What does that have?
I'm here today to demonstrate against the stay of this statue here that provides an unworthy representation for racism and people against people of color. I think they should be taken down, period. Where you want to put them, you want to put them in a museum, put them in a museum, but I think they should all be taken down. I was with a man just recently at a meeting on 15th Street, or on 5th Street, right here in the downtown. He happened to be a man of color, and he told me that if at the time we were meeting between 7 and 9 p.m. a few years ago, in his lifetime, he couldn't be down here because he happened to be black. That is a statute, according to that has got to go in the United States.
My name is Michael Lombardi. I'm from here, and the main reason why I came today is because there has to be sanity brought to all of these discussions. And it doesn't matter about color or race or even statues. It's about Jesus Christ as our Lord and Savior. And until we bring back the center of our country back to the relationship with Jesus Christ, all of this doesn't mean anything. All it is a case of division instead of bringing one body and unity back to the people of America.
My name is Stephen. I live in Sarasota, and the reason why I'm here is that if you don't stand for something, you will settle for anything. Okay? And when I look at the statue and I see the Confederate flag, this here is supposed to be a place of justice. Okay? When a black person look at this Confederate flag, we're reminded of the rapes, okay, that our ancestors endured, the lynchings, the beatings, being treated like we're less than human, treated like we're animal, we were just property, okay? And to have this statue in front of a place of justice, it's just not called for. We're not even saying destroy the statue. We're saying place it in a museum. Place it in a museum somewhere. But hey, to have it in front of a courthouse, that doesn't make any sense. And I'm in favor of it being moved. Okay, and that's why I'm here today.
My name is Barney Thomas. I was born and raised in Bradenton, Florida. The statue need to be moved because prejudice, that'll help stamp out prejudice. If we don't teach our kids about prejudice, they'll never know. God is love. This has nothing to do with God. Every Civil War statue should be moved. I've been around the block. The Klan rolled down 9th Avenue. My granddad stood up to the Klan. This represents the old South. They put these statues here to put fear in us. They didn't want to do it. They didn't want to do it overtly, so they put the statue up there so we supposed to be scared of these statues, that the South gonna rise again. The South is not rising again. They lost. It's over with. Let the dead bury the dead. Thank you.
Shut it down! If it was not you, you would have brought us here.
here to help put an end to this foolishness with this monument. It's time for it to go. It's been time, long time past for it to go. And today, this week, next week, it needs to go. They can hide behind the cloak of heritage, but if it's heritage, that's what the Civil War settled. It's only one flag, the American flag, period. I know you probably had to put things on hold so you can check on the legal issues, but it shouldn't take long. Get rid of it. It needs to go now. It's not soon enough. Manatee County citizens, stand together. This is our county. This is our city. Let's let the people know that we don't want that mess here. We're not going to tolerate it here.
Richard Miller. I'm from New York, but now I live in Manatee. And I'm here to support the statue. This statue has been here 50 years. And this is the first time in 50 years that somebody decided that this statue was offensive to them. When the statue was being put up, anytime after that, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, we keep on going. It wasn't offensive until we had a problem with that guy killing those people. And then everything that was Confederate became a problem to Southern folks or sympathizers of certain groups.
We're here today to request that the Manatee County Commissioners replace this statue, move the statue to a place where it can serve the actual educational purposes that they would like to portray from a symbol of history. We don't think it deserves a place in front of the courthouse, as there's already a discrepancy in Manatee County of black people getting longer sentences than white people. There was a very long bias on the bench done about this last year. So it's important that we look at the context of history and that we actually do educational opportunities, and that's what we're asking for.
I'm here today because equality should be for all. It shouldn't be, it shouldn't be segregated. Let me put it that way, because we all know that it is. Everybody deserves, the same rights. I mean, we live in the same country, we breathe in the same air, so why can't we all have the same rights?
We're here for a peaceful protest. We have about 5 groups that we've coordinated with. We have Indivisible Bradenton, we have the Suncoast Coalition for Equality, we have the Dream Defenders, and Black Lives Matter Minnesota, Black Lives Matter Tampa is being represented. So we all come in love and peace and understanding and getting the people together who are all interested in being on the right side of history. That's all we're doing.
I came here to basically started out to observe what's going on. I came here the other reason I came here was in support of our law enforcement officers and to support the Constitution, rule of law.
Been here for 40 years. I've worked in all parts of our community in different avenues. Was president of board of directors in minority communities. I thought this was a unity march. I thought it was supposed to bring the county together. That's the only reason I came. Well, I don't want it to be like a Charlottesville, which it certainly is not going to be, we hope. That counties can discuss what's going to happen with these statues, which is what they've got to do. You can't just take them down, you can't tear them down, you can't deface them. They're community property for people to come at and reminisce, and that's what it is. It's nothing about hate. It's about reminiscing about the past. You forget your past, you're bound to repeat it.
We're from Bradenton, Florida. We've lived here for 21 years. After this last election, we just felt we needed to get involved and stand up for our rights and beliefs, and we joined a few indivisible groups, one of which is Action Together Suncoast, which is the shirts we're wearing, and they called a march for this evening with Black Lives Matter and other groups, and so we battled the traffic and got here.
We've never been protesters before, and all the time we've lived here, we've not done this, but we've got involved this year because of the way things are going, and we think that truth matters and Black Lives Matter and all these things matter. Before, I couldn't have even told you there was a statue down here, and I just think it should go based on all the problems and things that they're involving other people.
I would hope that we can all be quiet enough and maybe listen to each other. I do understand that people who have lived in the South their entire lives and their forefathers perhaps fought and died in the Civil War, but to honor the the generals and things who wanted to defeat the United States, the Union, I don't think they deserve to be honored. I can understand the respect. I don't disrespect the people, the soldiers who fought, but I don't think we should honor what they fought for.
I agree with my wife, as always. And what else can you do? But I think that we'd be better off at least to bring some attention to the commission and let them see that how the people feel, and hopefully they'll vote and take action against the statue. I'm from Venice. I'm here to oppose the removal of historical monuments for no valid reason. I love our country. I love America, and I support and oppose any stupidity as far as removing historical monuments. I'd like it that they would come to their senses and leave the monument alone and leave it stand. It's on my shirt. All lives matter. We're all God's people.
Hi, I'm Sandy. I am right here from Bradenton. I've been in this state for 30 years. I am an original founder of America First Team Manatee. And our reason for being here is there was a protest rally scheduled by BLM and Indivisible of Sarasota to come into our county and to remove our Confederate monument statue, which is something that I take very personally, and it's a passion of mine. And we felt that we had to protect our statue, specifically because it was donated to the county by Daughters of the Confederacy for those veterans that died in the Civil War. And we are, number one of our missions at America First Team Manatee, we back our veterans.
We don't get it.
It's important to me because I believe we have to honor the veterans, and I realize it was a Confederate veteran that the statute is all about. But to me, it was a Civil War, and Lincoln and the others said, come together after that war. I want everybody to come together. I don't want history rewritten. I want everyone to realize that we have to come together and preserve history, and we have to honor the veterans. I know at Gettysburg, they honor both the South and the North, and at many other monuments, U.S. monuments, they honor both. And I think that's important, that we have to honor our veterans, we have to preserve our history, and I don't want everything torn down. I think that's the wrong answer, and I just want us to come together, and I think that's what the whole United States needs. It's just as a microcosm of what's going on.
It's time that we start to eliminate all the things that exhibit hatred and the division that has been a part of this country, that has also hurt this country over the years. People are just tired of it, and it's time for a change. I think that it goes back to the tweet that President Obama said, you know, when we're born, we're not born with hatred. We're taught it. You know, we sit at the dinner tables, we grow up in an environment where it's preached, and if you grow up in an environment of love where you're not looking at what color or what religion one is, you learn a whole different aspect of life, and it's learned. So when you get kids, when they're young, they absorb what they're learned, what they're taught at the dinner table, at the house, at the homes, and also in the schools. And I agree with President Obama when he said it is not something that is we're born with. We're taught with it. And the kids that are growing up in school, you see white kids, black kids, Spanish, Muslim, and whatever else. They get to know each other, and they learn to be friends with each other without the hatred that is taught at home. And sometimes it's overcome, but then there's some whose the hatred is so pushed and drilled inside of them till they refuse to release it. But hatred, is time to release that. It's time to eliminate those things that display hatred in our country. Growing up as an American farm worker, when we traveled, it was something that was a part of life that we dealt with when we stopped in the stores and we stopped at the gas stations with the crews that we were on the buses in the back of trucks. The police, law enforcement stopping us and talking to us like, you know, I experienced it, and I learned that you don't have to allow that to determine you. You don't have to allow it to define you. You just got to keep going. And all of our great leaders of the past have shown that. Even though there was racial discrimination and all kind of hatred and all those things, we have so many that endured it. Thurgood Marshall and Reverend Martin Luther King and Frederick Douglass, all of those people showed that because it exists, it doesn't mean that you have to succumb to it. We've got to release the hatred, the division in this country. And I think that is one of the most damaging things that is happening in our country. We're absorbing the hatred and those that they want to cling to it. And it's time to change. It's time for a change. It's time to let those things that exhibit the hatred and that perpetuates it, it's time for change.
Black Lives Matter! 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 Black Lives Matter!
Oh, they're protecting man. Oh, no, they're not. They're arresting him. Yeah! You! Turn up.
This is what democracy looks like. 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 don't
Look at
get
that.
it, shut it down. And if we don't get it, shut it down. And if we don't get it, shut it down. And if we don't get it, shut it down. And if we don't get it, shut it down. And if we don't get it, shut it down. And if we don't get it, shut it down. And if we don't get it, shut it down. If we don't get it, shut it down. If we don't get it, shut it down. Not justice, not justice, no peace. 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 Hey, hey, ho, ho. The monument has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. The monument has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. The monument has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. The monument has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. The monument has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. The monument has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. The monument has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. The monument has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. The monument has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. The monument has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. The monument has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. The monument has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. The monument has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. The monument has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. The monument has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho.
Back up. Back up. We want freedom. Freedom. All these races, you can pause on the ass if you're under 18. I don't want to get you in trouble with your parents. Klansmen, we don't need them. Need them. Back up, back up. We want freedom, freedom. All these racist ass Klansmen, we don't need them. Need them. You got it? You got it? You got it? Come on. I said back up, back up. We want freedom, freedom. All these racist ass Klansmen, we don't need them. Need them. Back up, we want freedom, freedom. All these racist ass Klansmen, we don't need them, need them. Back up, we want freedom, freedom. All these racist ass Klansmen, we don't need them, need them. Back up, we want freedom, freedom. All these racist ass Klansmen, we don't need them, need them.
Get a picture. You know why? The South and the Klan go hand in hand. South and the Klan go hand in hand. That's what happened. Tell the right story. Tell the right story. Pushing against my thing. Why are you pushing against my thing? You know, you said it my personal space. You back off, goddammit. You back off. You back off. You back off. Now I'm talking right now. This is not a place for fun. I didn't come here to talk. I didn't come here to talk. You just feel entitled. You just feel entitled. That's what happened. You feel entitled. Let's go.
And now, like I said, people find out pretty much about everything.
Without a megaphone, we drown.
You the asshole! You the asshole! Are you not too grown to be talking like that? Are you not too grown to be talking like that? You little tiny man! You little tiny man! Are you not too grown for that? Are you grown for that mother? Black Lives Matter! 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 All lives matter! All lives matter! All lives matter! All lives matter! Now get a job and go to work!
You recognize me, bro.